Can you imagine that a mistake made you a millionaire, and then everything went down the drain? Well, that's what happened to Jimmy, a 22-year-old guy, an IT student in Georgia. A regular guy with big dreams but a limited social life, until one click changed his life forever. And not just any click. A double click that shot him to the top and made him lose it all. This is the day Jimmy becomes a millionaire by mistake, and everything goes wrong. But how did he get there? In 2012, Jimmy comes across Bitcoin. He has no idea that this small digital currency will change his life. After some time investing and storing his Bitcoin in Silk Road, a marketplace on the dark web, one day he decides to withdraw it. And boom, an accidental double click, and suddenly he has twice as much as he wanted. The problem is, it was a mistake. But Jimmy sees an opportunity. Instead of letting it go, he starts exploiting this flaw and creates multiple accounts to double his money, again and again. In just a few days, he steals over 50,000 Bitcoin. In 2012, that's worth $600,000. Now Jimmy has money and a lot of problems ahead. Now, with a fortune at his feet, Jimmy decides that, finally, he's going to get something he's always wanted: friends. And to do that, he starts living large, buys a Tesla, rents luxury hotels, throws wild parties, and even buys a house on a lake with a stripper pole in the basement. Because of course, who wouldn't? Suddenly, everyone wants to be his friend. Everything is perfect. If this caught your attention, imagine what's coming next. Subscribe now and don't miss out. Until his friends find out he's not there for his charm, but for his money. And the more money he spent, the emptier he felt inside. But one day, when he least expects it, Jimmy goes on a trip, and when he returns, he finds out he's been robbed. $400,000 in cash and 150 Bitcoin are gone. The police don't do much, so he hires a private investigator. But she quickly realizes that his circle of friends smells fishy. However, Jimmy doesn't want to believe it. They're my friends, he thought. What he doesn't know is that they're manipulating him. And not only that, the IRS starts investigating the Bitcoin theft on Silk Road and finds out that the 50,000 Bitcoins stolen by mistake were his. And when one day, Jimmy innocently shows his wallet full of millions of Bitcoin to some undercover agents, he's sealing his fate. The agents return with a search warrant, and one morning, his house is raided. And it's not a robbery. It's the police arresting Jimmy for stealing those Bitcoins in 2012. His fortune is now worth over $3.4 billion. But in the end, Jimmy gives up, hands over the money, and after a deal with the justice system, he spends only 1 year in prison. And the friends who gave him $10,000 to buy clothes, guess what? None of them visited him. Money brought them into his life, but it didn't let them into his heart. What would you have done if you were Jimmy? Would you have done the same? Leave your answer in the comments. And remember, not everything that glitters is Bitcoin. And sometimes, even digital money comes with a real cost.